In the morning, citizens. Welcome to today's news and guidance for Sunday, August 17th, 2025. Coming at you live from a paddleboard in San Francisco Bay, let's look at today's items. I'm Fidges DeFis, your guide for today's deep dive.
And I'm Mater, ready to unpack the implications with you.
Today we're diving into, well, quite a stack of critical sources. We've got the latest in AI and cybersecurity, some big national headlines, what's happening right here in San Francisco, and actually a surprising amount of niche tech news, too.
Yeah, a really interesting mix.
Our mission, like always, is to sift through all that noise, pull out the really important nuggets of knowledge, and connect the dots. So you get a truly well-rounded perspective without feeling like totally overwhelmed.
Right. We want you to walk away feeling informed, maybe a little intrigued, and definitely understanding the context.
Exactly. We want you to feel like you really get it.
And we've gathered some fascinating stuff today. Everything from, the absolute bleeding edge of tech development to the very human challenges playing out in cities and, well, across the globe. And to help frame all this, these modern day challenges, we'll also be drawing some guidance from a timeless source, Proverbs chapter 17, looking for that enduring wisdom,
Mm-hmm. Always good to have that perspective. Okay, and before we dive in, just a quick word from our sponsor. The News and Guidance program is brought to you today by shop.sefnedokwal.com. Try survival seasoning. Perfect for any situation, seriously. Whether you're adventuring out in the wild or just trying to navigate the daily news cycle.
Adds a bit of spice, does it?
Trust me, it adds a kick to everything. Okay, let's do this. All right, let's kick things off by plunging headfirst into the digital frontier. Segment 1, AI and cybersecurity.
This space, it feels like it's redefining itself almost daily.
Oh, absolutely. It's this constant push-pull, isn't it? Between just astonishing innovation on one side and then, boom, newly discovered vulnerabilities on the other.
It's dizzying. It really is. The pace of change here isn't just fast. It feels exponential sometimes. We're seeing these groundbreaking technologies emerge, sure, but also this increasingly sophisticated, arms race in digital security.
Yeah.
Every AI breakthrough seems to open up potential new attack vectors. It creates this dynamic tension that shapes pretty much all of our digital lives now.
Okay, so let's start with some of those exciting AI innovations and strategies first. Big news from Google. Their Gemini AI is testing a new projects feature, which sounds, well, incredibly similar to OpenAI's existing thing for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
For those of us drowning in info, what's the game-changing part here?
Well, look, this isn't just about adding another button or feature. It feels like a really pivotal move towards AI becoming almost like the executive assistant for your entire digital life. It could fundamentally reshape how we interact with these intelligence systems.
How so?
Traditionally, right, AI has been a query tool. You ask a question, you get an answer. Simple enough. But with a projects feature, we're talking about delegating whole cognitive loads.
Okay.
Imagine not just asking for facts, but telling the AI, research the long-term economic impact of renewable energy subsidies.
Okay.
And it doesn't just spit back a list of links.
Right.
Instead, it defines the scope, outlines the subtopics, identifies key data points, maybe summarizes conflicting views, and even organizes it all into a coherent report structure.
Wow.
The aha moment for you, the user, isn't just efficiency, like saving time. It's about offloading that whole initial process of, project setup and basic knowledge synthesis.
That could seriously speed things up.
Oh, accelerates personal productivity by, well, potentially an order of magnitude. It starts blurring the lines between human thought and automated execution, doesn't it? Raises the bar for what we expect from our digital tools.
Yeah, it really does.
And it also brings up some fascinating questions around intellectual property. If the AI does all the grunt work of research, who really owns the insights it generates?
Good point.
And what about the subtle influence on our own thinking if the AI is structuring how we approach a problem from the get-go?
That's a powerful thought, yeah. AI not just as a tool, but as a strategic partner that actually shapes how we work. But then, okay, shifting gears slightly, we have Anthropic's Claude AI, which has taken a very different kind of step. It can now apparently terminate conversations if they're deemed harmful or misused.
Right.
On the surface, that sounds good, right? A win for safety. But what are the real challenges here? Giving AI that kind of ethical authority, where's the line?
This is exactly where the discussion moves from pure innovation to the profound complexities of AI governance and safety. It's messy.
Definitely sounds messy.
Because letting an AI like Claude self-regulate terminate interactions It brings up a whole host of critical questions, like what precisely constitutes harmful content from an AI's point of view?
Yeah, who defines that?
Is it just illegal stuff? Or does it go further into things like disinformation or emotionally manipulative language or even content that's just, ideologically skewed? How are these parameters set?
Are they hard-coded? Does it learn?
Exactly. Are they set by a small group of developers? Do they evolve through machine learning? The real challenge is defining objective, universally accepted ideas of harm in the huge, nuanced world of human communication.
Which seems almost impossible.
It's incredibly difficult, and this directly impacts trust, right? If an AI can just cut you off, how transparent is that process? Is there an appeal? And how does that affect your willingness to rely on it for sensitive stuff? Or open-ended tasks where the AI might just unpredictably decide something's harmful without a clear reason?
Yeah, you might hold back.
It's this constant tension between preventing genuine misuse and avoiding, over-censorship or accidentally building in biases.
That tension between control and ethics.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be grappling with that for a long, long time. Okay, so on the other side of the AI coin, OpenAI, they seem to be making several moves at once.
They're busy.
Very busy. We're hearing reports they're testing a Chromium-based AI browser, maybe for macOS initially, and enhancing ChatGPT's voice mode, and introducing a cheaper ChatGPT Go plan, possibly aiming beyond just initial text in places like India.
Yeah, it looks like a full court press.
Definitely feels like it, covering all the bases.
And if you connect these dots, look at the bigger picture, it clearly highlights OpenAI's aggressive strategy. It's multi-pronged. They're going head-on against the established giants, Google, Microsoft, Apple.
So the browser, how is an AI browser fundamentally different?
Well, think about it. Current browsers mostly just display information, right?
Yeah.
An AI-centric browser could be much more proactive. It could anticipate your needs, summarize pages instantly as you browse, seamlessly integrate search results, maybe draft emails based on the content you're looking at, or even translate in real time without you asking.
Okay, that sounds pretty powerful.
It's not just efficiency. It's about deep personalization, a really integrated AI experience that could make traditional browsing feel, kind of clunky by comparison.
And the voice mode enhancements.
That pushes towards more natural, hands-free interaction. Imagine consuming content, managing your digital life on the go, maybe dictating whole documents or complex queries just by talking to it. Much easier.
Yeah, definitely more convenient.
And then the cheaper ChatGPT Go plan, maybe only $4. That's clearly a play for much wider market access, huge penetration potential.
Making it more affordable for everyone.
Exactly. By making advanced AI cheaper, OpenAI aims to rapidly grow its user base, reaching potentially billions more people globally. This could really cement AI as a pervasive, everyday utility for a much broader demographic.
Accelerating its integration into everything.
Pretty much all aspects of life, yeah?
It certainly sounds like AI is about to become even more everywhere, and cheaper too, blurring those lines between our tools and our lives. But, okay, with all this innovation comes the other side of the coin, right? The constant threat from cybersecurity.
Always lurking.
And this week, we've got some pretty significant alerts, but also actually a victory against cybercrime. First up, the U.S. seized over $2.8 million in crypto from a Zeppelin ransomware operator. That's a decent win, isn't it?
It is. It's a significant victory, absolutely, and a really critical step in the ongoing fight against ransomware.
Which feels relentless sometimes.
It is relentless. These attacks, encrypting data, demanding crypto payments, they've become this persistent, incredibly costly threat to businesses, governments, individuals, everyone.
So what's the key takeaway from this seizure?
Well, what's fascinating here is the increasing traceability of crypto. Despite how people think of it as anonymous, law enforcement agencies are getting much better. They're enhancing their forensic tools, allowing them to follow blockchain transactions, identify wallets, and ultimately track down the people behind these attacks.
So not as anonymous as criminals might hope.
Less and less so. This particular seizure involving Ianis Aleksandrovich Antropenko, it sends a really clear message. Your digital assets are not untouchable.
Good.
It undermines a key advantage they thought they had, offers, a glimmer of hope in what often feels like this asymmetric battle where the defenders are always just reacting.
Yeah.
It's that constant cat and mouse game. And this is a substantial strategic gain for the good guys.
And it really shows the evolving sophistication on both sides, doesn't it? But, okay, for businesses, for critical infrastructure, the threats just keep mounting. We saw warnings about a FortiWeb full authentication bypass exploit.
Oof, that's bad.
Enhanced protections from Microsoft Teams against malicious URLs. A major Warlock ransomware attack hit Colt Telecom, causing multi-day outages. And a Cisco warning about a max severity RCE flaw in their secure firewall management center. Okay, let's unpack this. These aren't just minor glitches, right? These are critical.
You're absolutely right. Far from minor glitches.
Yeah.
These represent significant, potentially systemic threats. We're talking data integrity, operational continuity, even national security for organizations everywhere.
So break down some of the worst ones.
Yeah.
That 40-web bypass.
Okay, a full authentication bypass, like the one for 40web. That means an attacker can completely sidestep login credentials, not steal a password, just walk right in without needing one at all.
Wow.
For something like 40web, a web application firewall that's supposed to be your first line of defense against web attacks. It's like the bank vault door suddenly losing its lock entirely.
Yep.
Attackers could get complete control, change configurations, deploy more malware. Devastating.
And the Cisco RCE flaw, what does maximum severity mean there?
RCE is remote code execution, and maximum severity means it's about as bad as it gets. An RCE flaw lets an attacker force the vulnerable system, in this case, Cisco's secure firewall management center, to run their malicious code.
So they can make the firewall do whatever they want.
Pretty much. Imagine your main network defense, your firewall, suddenly taking orders from an attacker, telling it to open every port, siphon off sensitive internal traffic, or even launch attacks from your network against other systems.
Turning your defense into an attack tool.
Exactly. It turns a vital security asset into an attack vector. And this isn't just about stealing data, it's about gaining total control of core network infrastructure, which, as we saw with that Warlock ransomware attack on Colt Telecom.
Yeah, the multi-day outages.
Right. Colt Telecom is a major provider. Multi-day outages cripple essential communication services, and now apparently stolen data is up for sale on the dark web. It shows the profound real-world impact these attacks have on critical infrastructure.
And the Microsoft Teams update.
Well, the Teams' enhanced protections are positive, obviously, but they also underscore the reactive nature of this battle. You're constantly adjusting to new, sophisticated phishing and malware delivery methods, targeting the tools we use every single day for collaboration.
So what's the takeaway for listeners here, even if they weren't hit by these specific things?
It underscores the inherent fragility of the digital systems we all rely on daily, from telecoms to workplace chat. The aha moment, maybe, is the shift needed from just reacting to breaches to proactively understanding these high-severity exploits, implementing defense in depth like zero-trust architectures, which basically assume a breach will happen eventually.
So constant vigilance isn't enough anymore.
It's necessary, but maybe not sufficient. You need sophisticated, proactive defense, too. It's a serious call for action.
That's a sobering thought, definitely, and a stark reminder for anyone responsible for digital security. Okay, let's shift gears now. Segment 2. National and international developments. This gives us a broader snapshot of today, August 17, 2025. Political climates, social issues, environmental updates, the works.
Yeah, and this segment really highlights how interconnected everything is. Political, social, environmental pressures, they all shape our world together. No single issue exists in a vacuum.
Indeed. And here's where it gets really interesting. When we look at the political climate and maybe civil unrest, we've got this cluster of headlines from Washington, D.C. Paints a pretty vivid picture of, well, heightened tension.
Seems that way.
Hundreds reportedly marching to the White House, protesting what's being called Trump's D.C. crackdown. 3 Republican-led states sending National Guard troops to Washington. And maybe most striking, reports that teenagers in D.C. are saying this federal police takeover actually makes them feel unsafe.
Wow. Yeah, taken together, those headlines clearly point to a heightened state of political tension, polarization, not just in D.C., but clearly resonating across state lines.
The National Guard deployment seems particularly significant.
It is. The implications of state National Guard being deployed in a federal context like this. Historically, that can really blur lines of authority between state and federal governments, and it can dramatically escalate how people perceive the conflict.
It's not just about crowd control, then.
No, it goes deeper. It touches on the very delicate balance of power and civil liberties, and then that reported impact on local residents, especially the youth feeling unsafe because of a federal police presence. That's the critical human dimension here.
Right. It's not abstract.
Not at all. It raises a crucial question. How does federal action like this, especially these sort of military-style deployments, impact a local community's sense of safety, their civil liberties, especially for vulnerable groups like teenagers.
Yeah.
It's not just political theater. It's about real people's lives, their rights, their sense of security in their own city. It's a direct look at protest dynamics and government response.
That human element and the civil liberties angle.
Yeah.
Definitely crucial to watch. Okay, moving to international relations. Some intriguing diplomatic maneuvers happening, hints of deeper stuff. Government papers apparently found in an Alaskan hotel, revealing new details of a Trump-Putin summit.
That's a strange one, found in a hotel.
Yeah, that's the report. And also, European leaders are set to join Ukraine's Zelensky for a White House meeting with Trump. So, glimpses into high-stakes global interactions.
Okay, the Alaskan hotel thing. What's fascinating there is the potential for new granular insights into these high-stakes diplomatic talks through what sounds like a completely unintended leak.
Right, like finding a lost diary.
Exactly. These revelations, even if they're fragmented, can offer a rare glimpse into the complexities of international statecraft. The real motivations behind closed doors, the constant flow of info and maybe disinformation surrounding leaders, it's like finding a missing piece of a geopolitical puzzle.
And the Zelensky meeting.
That indicates a continued, focused international effort on the situation in Ukraine and its, broader global implications. It's a critical indicator of alliance strength, strategic discussions, the concerted efforts to tackle these huge geopolitical challenges.
So important breadcrumbs for people tracking global affairs.
Significant breadcrumbs, yeah. About leadership interactions, shifting alliances, and the persistent challenges to global stability.
Okay, from the geopolitical stage, let's bring it closer to home for many. Some pressing economic and social issues. One headline really jumped out. Electricity prices are climbing more than twice as fast as inflation. Ouch! That hits every household budget.
Directly. Yeah, that's a stark economic indicator. It impacts household budgets, business operating costs, everything. And if you connect it to the bigger picture,
What could be driving it?
it could be a whole confluence of things, right? Maybe shifts in energy policy, like prioritizing renewables without the infrastructure catching up fast enough, supply chain issues for fuels or grid components, increased demand from extreme weather linked to climate change, or just the escalating costs of modernizing old energy grids.
Lots of possibilities.
But the result is the same, highlights those pervasive cost of living pressures. It's a tangible financial concern for everyone and could definitely spark broader economic discontent or calls for policy changes.
And speaking of concerns, another report talks about a growing scandal of elder homelessness, with healthcare groups trying to step in and help. That's not just a statistic, is it? It feels like a profound societal issue.
It really is. And what's truly unsettling, I think, is framing it as a scandal. Which is correct, right? It suggests a profound societal failure to care for our most vulnerable. It highlights pressing social issues, systemic challenges in housing affordability, access to healthcare, comprehensive social support. For the elderly, homelessness brings severe health consequences. It exacerbates chronic conditions, mental health challenges, leads to more hospitalizations, premature death.
It's devastating.
And the fact that healthcare groups are stepping in, that shows the severity. It's not just a housing problem, it's a public health emergency. For you, the listener, it's a sobering reminder of these ongoing social challenges in our communities, the critical importance of strong safety nets, compassionate support.
It makes you ask what's failing them.
Exactly. What structural issues are letting these individuals fall through the cracks? How can we, as a society, address this systemic neglect?
Heavy stuff. Okay, before we zoom into San Francisco specifically, let's touch on a few lighter notes, or at least different ones. Culture, science, environment. We've got the Old Fiddlers Convention pushing 90 years old, keeping mountain music alive.
Oh, I love that.
It's such a refreshing counterpoint, isn't it? After all the digital chaos and economic stress we just talked about, makes you think about what actually endures.
It absolutely does. I mean, here we are talking AI building 3D models, cars charging for software patches, and then you have this vibrant, almost century-old tradition, mountain music, passed down through generations.
Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder that while tech races ahead, there's this enduring human need for community, for shared culture, for the tactile joy of creating something together.
It's more than just music.
Totally. It's preserving a cultural lineage, fostering connections between generations, celebrating resilience through art. Maybe in our increasingly digital world, these analog traditions become even more vital, a grounding force, a connection to something timeless.
I like that. Okay, science. Surprising little fact. New research shows chimpanzees pick up communication styles from their moms, not their dads. What's the significance there?
Well, what's fascinating here is the insight into animal behavior and learning. Specifically, it highlights the strong primary influence of maternal figures in shaping communication patterns within these primate social structures.
The moms are the teachers.
It suggests social learning, especially for complex stuff like communication, can be highly gender-specific in chimps. Mothers seem to be the primary cultural transmitters in their communities. It offers a window into these nuanced social dynamics, reminds us that learning strategies in the animal kingdom can be remarkably sophisticated, deeply rooted in family bonds.
Interesting. Helps us understand how culture gets passed down, even in other species.
Exactly.
Okay, finally, a critical weather update for anyone tracking natural events. Hurricane Erin has been downgraded to a Category 3 storm.
Right, that's timely and crucial info for anyone in affected regions or just concerned about disasters. It shows how dynamic these tropical systems are, the constant need for monitoring real-time updates.
Cat 3 is still serious, though.
Oh, absolutely. A Category 3 hurricane is still a powerful, dangerous storm. But the downgrade offers some relief compared to, say, a Cat 4 or 5. It might alter evacuation orders, preparedness levels, but it still underscores the ongoing challenges from climate and weather and the vital role of meteorology in public safety.
Okay. Now, since I am literally coming to you live from a paddleboard in San Francisco Bay,
Still managing to stay dry.
so far so good, it's only fitting we dive into our local news spotlight. This segment gives us a focused look at the challenges, the progress, right here in the Bay Area. Gives us that local context for some of the broader themes we just discussed.
Yeah, this is where we see how those global trends, national issues, tech implementation problems, public safety, governance actually play out at the community level. Makes them tangible, relevant to your daily life if you're here.
Absolutely. Let's start with some administrative and infrastructure hurdles causing quite a stir. The San Francisco Unified School District, SFUSD, still having widespread payroll issues with a new $20 million system as the new school year begins. Okay, let's unpack this. $20 million for a system that's still buggy.
Yeah, this isn't just a technical glitch, is it? It sounds like a systemic failure with significant real-world consequences, especially for the educators.
How so?
Well, when teachers aren't paid correctly or on time, that creates immense financial stress. It impacts their ability to focus on students. It seriously erodes morale. It lead to teacher retention problems, right?
Totally.
It points to maybe deeper systemic administrative weaknesses, fundamental issues with large-scale tech implementation in the public sector. These projects often suffer from, ballooning budgets, maybe inadequate testing, a disconnect from what the end users actually need.
So for listeners, parents, students, citizens,
It's a glaring example of how tech, when it's poorly implemented, can just create widespread frustration, disrupt essential public services, and really undermine trust in public institutions. It absolutely begs the question of accountability when such a huge public investment doesn't even deliver basic functionality.
yeah, $20 million is a lot for basic functionality to fail.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of big projects with hurdles, the BART extension down to San Jose, reports say it's leaning toward a single tunnel design now to reduce costs and delays, but still faces significant challenges. This transit expansion is so critical for Bay Area connectivity, but sounds like a complex balancing act.
It really is. And if you connect this to the bigger picture of urban development infrastructure, it perfectly illustrates the immense challenges, the compromises involved in these massive public projects.
So single tunnel saves money, speeds things up.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
And those are critical factors given the Bay Area's high costs and pressing transit needs. But those kinds of cost-cutting measures often come with trade-offs, like maybe capacity limits compared to a double tunnel. Potential maintenance complexities down the road could make future expansion harder. These decisions are critical for the long-term function, the resilience of the whole region's transport network.
Directly impacts commutes, development.
Absolutely. For Bay Area residents, it's crucial for understanding the future of their transport system. Highlights that complex balancing act between ambition, budget, engineering realities, and what the community needs in urban planning.
Okay, shifting to public safety now. Some tragic news from the city recently. A 19-year-old woman was killed, a man injured, in a double shooting in Hunters Point earlier this month. Suspect still at large. Underscores ongoing concerns about gun violence here.
Yeah, that's deeply tragic. A stark reminder of the persistent urban crime challenges many cities grapple with, and the specific terrible impact of gun violence.
The community impact must be huge.
Profound and lasting. Creates fear, undermines safety, erodes the social fabric. Addressing gun violence is incredibly complex, right? It involves law enforcement, sure, but also comprehensive social programs, community engagement, addressing root causes like poverty, lack of opportunity.
It's a massive
A
challenge.
significant public safety issue demanding sustained attention, resources to protect residents, foster safer neighborhoods, and the fact the suspect is still at large just emphasizes the ongoing nature of these challenges for police.
And another really troubling incident. A 78-year-old pedestrian was fatally struck by a driver in Soma, a hit and run. And reports say this marks a troubling trend of pedestrian fatalities in the city.
That phrase, troubling trend, is worrying. It raises important questions about urban planning, driver behavior, pedestrian safety in our dense cities. It suggests current strategies, traffic management, driver education, enforcement might not be enough.
Highlights vulnerability.
Especially for pedestrians, and particularly the elderly in busy urban environments. It's really a call for increased awareness, maybe policy changes. Urban traffic design, speed limits, driver accountability, public education campaigns, making streets safer for everyone.
Yeah.
For you, the listener, it's a stark reminder of the dangers even on daily commutes, daily walks. Emphasizes the need for both drivers and pedestrians to be extremely cautious.
And sticking with traffic, sadly, there was also a crash on I-280 here in SF. One person killed, another injured. Just another grim reminder of roadway dangers.
Indeed. Another unfortunate reminder of the inherent dangers on our major roads, the constant vigilance needed from all drivers. These incidents, while localized, just reinforce those daily risks for commuters, the critical importance of defensive driving following traffic laws.
Okay, let's talk governance and accountability. This is a hot topic here.
Yeah.
San Francisco apparently cut funding to a nonprofit because it was accused of bribing a former city official. And this is jeopardizing programs for needy kids and families in the Western Addition. Sparked a lot of community concern.
Wow. Okay, what's truly disheartening there is that difficult balance, right? Between addressing corruption, which is essential, and the immediate painful impact on vulnerable communities.
Yeah, the kids lose out.
Exactly. Accountability for misconduct, financial impropriety is absolutely crucial. But this incident speaks volumes about the importance of integrity and public service and the devastating ripple effects when that fails.
So,
The actions of a few individuals can directly harm those who need help most, like the needy kids and families in the Western Addition whose vital programs are now at risk because of these alleged bribes. It reinforces how vital transparency and integrity are in leadership, underscores the detrimental effects of corruption on community well-being, trust in institutions, delivering essential services.
it shows correction isn't abstract.
Not at all. It has direct, painful consequences for real people.
Okay, on a more positive governance note, Governor Gavin Newsom appointed 7 new Superior Court judges across the Bay Area, Alameda, San Mateo, Santa Clara counties, aiming to strengthen the region's judicial system.
That's a positive step. Necessary, really, to bolster the judicial system, which is absolutely essential for ensuring timely justice, reducing those case backlogs that plague so many courts.
Why are appointments so important?
Well, judicial appointments are critical for maintaining a functional, efficient legal system. Backlogs delay justice for victims, for the accused, for people in civil disputes, impacts everything from criminal cases to family law. Appointing new judges increases the court's capacity, makes the legal system more responsive, more accessible to citizens across the Bay Area.
So it affects everyone using the courts.
Affects the efficiency, the accessibility of the justice system right in your local area, helps ensure legal processes can move forward more smoothly, more fairly.
Good. Okay, finally, in our local spotlight, a really unique incident highlights the practicalities of our modern economy. A truck carrying Tesla batteries overturned on I-80 near Truckee. Caused significant traffic delays, required a complex cleanup. This wasn't just, spilled oranges.
No, definitely not. This provides a really compelling anecdote, actually, about the practicalities, the inherent risks involved in the logistics of this green energy transition we're undergoing.
Complex cleanup sounds serious.
It implies much more than just getting the truck upright, right? It suggests dealing with potentially hazardous materials, specialized handling needed for these large, high-voltage battery packs, environmental concerns if any battery cells were compromised.
Hidden complexities.
Exactly. It's a specific, intriguing incident that reveals some of the hidden complexities, the challenges of our modern high-tech economy, especially as we scale up the infrastructure for electrification, shows that even the cleanest tech comes with its own set of logistical hurdles, risks that need careful management.
Very true. All right, let's round out our news segments with top tech headlines. Beyond the major players. This is our rapid-fire look at diverse tech headlines. Stuff ranging from privacy debates to really niche development things, consumer issues, stuff that might not be front-page news but is definitely shaping our digital future.
Yeah, this segment often uncovers those more nuanced but equally important developments. Things that might not hit the mainstream but have significant implications for how we interact with tech and how tech interacts with us. It's often where you find those really surprising facts.
Okay, first up, a really provocative headline. GDPR meant nothing. Chat control ends privacy for the EU. Whoa, that's a bold statement, especially given how GDPR was hailed as this landmark privacy law. So what does this all mean for privacy in Europe and maybe beyond?
Yeah, that is a very provocative statement. It goes right to the heart of that ongoing tension between digital privacy, government surveillance, and regulation in the digital age.
What's chat control referring to?
It likely refers to proposed or enacted measures in the EU, like the CSA regulation, that's child sexual abuse regulation. The aim is to combat child abuse material by mandating the scanning of private communications, including encrypted messages.
Scanning encrypted messages. How does that work?
Well, that's the controversy. The intent fighting child abuse is critical, universally supported. But the mechanism requiring communication providers to scan messages is seen by many privacy advocates as fundamentally undermining the privacy protections promised by GDPR, which was supposed to be the gold standard.
So it breaks the promise of privacy.
That's the argument. It raises that really important question. Can privacy truly be guaranteed in an era of advanced digital monitoring, automated content scanning? Especially when national security or crime prevention are used as the reasons for these new controls.
It feels like a direct conflict.
It is. The aha here is that inherent conflict between absolute privacy and efforts to police digital spaces for illegal content. For anyone concerned about digital privacy, this signals a huge development in Europe. Could set precedents, have global implications for how personal communications are treated, and whether end-to-end encryption can really remain inviolable.
Yeah. Definitely something to watch. Okay, speaking of consumer issues that make you go, huh, this next one is genuinely baffling. Hyundai wants Ioniq 5 customers to pay for cybersecurity patch. I mean, why? Why would a major car company charge for a security fix for a car they sold?
Right. What's absolutely fascinating, and yeah, baffling, is just how unprecedented this move feels. In the software world, security patches are almost universally free, provided by manufacturers to protect users, maintain product integrity, uphold brand reputation.
It's just expected.
It's expected. Charging for a cybersecurity fix for a vehicle, it fundamentally challenges those established norms of product responsibility, consumer rights in our digital age.
Because cars are basically computers now.
Increasingly software-defined products, exactly. Like a smartphone, like a laptop, they need ongoing security updates. This move by Hyundai raises several critical questions. Does this set a worrying precedent, where essential safety updates become like a premium optional service?
That's scary.
What does it imply about the manufacturer's long-term commitment to the digital security of their vehicles? How does it impact consumer trust, not just in Hyundai, but the whole auto industry as cars get more connected, more reliant on software?
Yeah, it could open a Pandora's box.
Could definitely lead to a future where you have to budget for security updates for your car, creating like a tiered system of safety based on who can pay. This isn't just about a car. It's a fascinating case study in corporate responsibility for the software in modern vehicles. Could impact consumer expectations for all smart devices.
That's certainly something to keep a very, very close eye on. Okay, now a few quick hits from the developer and niche tech world. FFmpeg, that widely used multimedia framework, is moving to 4GO. And Node.js now has native support for executing TypeScript files without extra configuration. What do these mean for the dev community?
Okay, the FFmpeg moved to 4JJO. That's pretty significant for the open source world. Signals trends in collaborative software platforms, the infrastructure supporting all that multimedia development. 4JJO is a fork of Gitea, focused on being community-driven, self-hostable. So this move suggests a preference for more decentralized, maybe community-controlled development environments, moving away from the bigger commercial platforms, perhaps.
And the Node.js change?
Native support for executing TypeScript files without extra setup. That's a major convenience for developers. TypeScript brings strong type safety to JavaScript, helps catch errors early, makes code more maintainable. This native support streamlines workflows, cuts down setup hassle, and will likely boost TypeScript adoption even more, leading to more reliable, scalable Node.js apps.
So easier and better code.
That's the goal. Both indicate that ongoing evolution in core dev tools driven by community needs and efficiency.
Okay, and we're seeing new concepts like LL3M, large language 3D modelers, and a programming philosophy quiz called DevCompass, plus something called Gid Smash, and a graphical mod called Supersight for a classic 90s racing game, Bruderbund Stunts. What a mix.
It truly is a mix. Shows the sheer breadth of tech. Right, okay. LL3M, large language 3D modelers. This sounds revolutionary.
How so?
Think about telling an AI, just using plain English, design a fantastical treehouse with a spiral staircase, a hidden slide, and a canopy bridge to another tree, and boom, it instantly generates a fully renderable 3D model with all those intricate details.
Whoa.
It's not just tweaking existing models, it's using generative AI to create complex 3D environments. Objects, just from natural language descriptions, could be a game changer for architecture, product design, VR, even rapid prototyping. Makes 3D design accessible to creators without specialized software skills.
Okay, that's cool. And the DevCompass quiz.
That highlights the intellectual, reflective side of software development, where different approaches, methodologies, even ethical stuff gets debated, defined. Reminds you coding isn't just syntax, it's about problem-solving paradigms. Git Smash sounds unique, maybe experimental. Perhaps related to generating or manipulating GIS, those globally unique identifiers, in some novel way.
And the Stunts mod?
The Supersight mod for Bruderbund Stunts. It's just delightful. A nod to retro gaming, the enduring passion of modding communities. Shows how dedicated enthusiasts keep enhancing, revisiting classic titles. Bridges generations of tech fans. Reminds us innovation isn't just building the new, but also improving, extending the life of beloved creations.
Love that. Okay, finally, we have lessons learned from building a sync engine and reactivity system with Squiet. Sounds pretty deep, niche, but important for builders.
Yeah, that headline points to a deep dive. Practical, technical insights into database management, real-time data sync. Squilite is super common, an embedded database often built right into apps. Known for being simple, efficient. Building a sync engine and reactivity system around it means solving complex problems, keeping data consistent across multiple devices or users in real time.
Tricky stuff.
Very tricky. For software architects, engineers, this kind of experience report offers invaluable lessons. Building robust, efficient systems. Dealing with concurrency, conflict resolution, performance at scale. It's that detailed problem-solving knowledge that really pushes the boundaries of practical software engineering.
Gotcha. Okay, our last tech headline takes us to business culture. And it's another provocative one. Why LinkedIn rewards mediocrity? Ouch. That's a pretty strong claim about a platform so many of us use daily for professional stuff.
It is a strong claim. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, it suggests a critical analysis of how algorithms on platforms like LinkedIn might, maybe inadvertently, favor or amplify average content. Low effort stuff, widely agreeable posts, over truly excellent, insightful, or challenging contributions.
So it encourages blandness.
That seems to be the argument. It raises that important question. Do these online professional platforms truly foster excellence, deep thought, genuine professional growth? Or do they, by their very design-chasing engagement metrics, encourage a sort of lowest common denominator approach to professional self-promotion and content?
Like prioritizing likes over substance.
Could be. A critique of feed algorithms prioritizing likes and shares over depth, leading to maybe a proliferation of generic thought leadership posts. For anyone using LinkedIn, it prompts reflection, right? On your own online presence, the platform's actual value for genuine development or meaningful connections versus just being a stage for performative interactions.
Highlights that tension between perceived usefulness and actual impact.
Exactly. Between utility and its real impact on professional discourse.
Wow, that's a lot to chew on. Across the board. From database sync engines to global privacy debates. Okay, now, to ground us a bit, offer some timeless perspective on these very modern challenges, we turn to our final segment. Guidance from Proverbs chapter 17. Mater, where should we start to find enduring wisdom in today's headlines?
Well, let's start with Proverbs 17, verse 14. It offers this powerful analogy. The beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water, therefore leave off contention before it be meddled with.
Like opening a floodgate.
Exactly. The proverb suggests conflict, much like a small, maybe insignificant leak, can quickly escalate into an overwhelming flood if you don't address it early. It advises us to avoid contention, to step back, address issues proactively before they become unmanageable, cause widespread damage.
And that resonates so clearly with some of the headlines we talked about today. Those protests in D.C., the National Guard deployment, the teenagers feeling unsafe. That feels exactly like escalating conflict that, according to the proverb, maybe could have been addressed earlier, before the water was let out.
Precisely. Those headlines paint that vivid picture: initial disagreements, dissatisfactions, snowballing into significant social and political tension. The Guard deployment, while maybe intended to maintain order, often just exacerbates the feeling of conflict, polarization, just like a small leak becomes a torrent.
And the teenagers' fear.
That fear, reported by teenagers in D.C. due to the federal police presence, that's a direct consequence of this escalation. And similarly, look at those persistent SFUSD payroll issues. What began as a technical glitch with a new system has clearly escalated into massive frustration, administrative chaos, profound morale drain for hundreds of educators.
The water got out.
The water got out. The proverb reminds us how critical proactive conflict resolution is, on personal level and within society. To prevent situations spiraling out of control, it urges intervention at the earliest sign of trouble. Leave off contention before the water is fully unleashed and causes devastation.
A powerful lesson in foresight, de-escalation. Okay, next let's consider Proverbs 17, verse 23, a stark warning. A wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment.
Yeah, this proverb directly highlights the profound corrupting influence of bribes, illicit gains, how they can utterly undermine the integrity of public service, impartial decision-making.
Taking secret payments.
Exactly. A timeless warning against individuals accepting hidden payments to twist justice, make decisions for personal gain instead of the common good. And this applies directly to that San Francisco news, right? The nonprofit funding cut due to accusations of bribing a former city official.
And the impact.
What's particularly disheartening, again, is how such corrupt actions directly harm those who need help most, like the needy kids and families in the Western Addition, whose vital programs were jeopardized by these alleged acts. It reinforces how vital transparency, accountability, integrity, and leadership are, underscores the detrimental effects of corruption on community well-being, trust in institutions.
It shows the real cost.
The proverb reminds us that perverting judgment, especially for money, has very real, painful consequences for the most vulnerable in society.
A stark reminder of the corrosive cost of corruption. Yeah. Okay, finally, on well-being and perspective. Proverbs 17, verse 22, offers both a warning and an encouragement. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit trieth the bones.
This verse speaks so profoundly to the power of our inner disposition, our psychological resilience when facing adversity. When you look at that growing scandal of elder homelessness, a profoundly challenging social issue.
Or even the D.C. teenagers feeling unsafe.
Exactly. These are circumstances that could easily lead to a broken spirit. That sense of despair, hopelessness, exhaustion that can literally wear a person down, dry the bones. The proverb reminds us how critical it is to cultivate, to maintain hope, a positive outlook, even amid such difficult systemic circumstances.
Mental well-being isn't a luxury.
Not at all. It emphasizes that mental, emotional well-being are essential for human flourishing, resilience. It raises an important question for all of us, doesn't it? How do we cultivate a merry heart, find inner strength, find sources of joy when faced with such profound systemic challenges that seem designed to dry the bones of individuals, communities?
How do we fight that despair?
It's a call to actively seek out, to foster optimism, community, personal fortitude, to navigate life's inevitable hardships.
That's a beautiful thought to carry with us, a reminder to seek out joy even in tough times. And speaking of thoughts that stick, it's time for our clip of the day. For me, the one item today that really stood out for its sheer, head-scratching quality has got to be Hyundai wants Ioniq 5 customers to pay for cybersecurity patch.
Oh, I agree completely. That item is particularly baffling and significant because it fundamentally challenges our assumptions about product responsibility, especially for these increasingly software-defined vehicles.
It just feels wrong.
Right. Why would a major automaker externalize the cost of a security fix onto its customers, when in almost every other tech industry, these are provided free as part of the product's ongoing safety functionality?
It's unheard of.
It really is. It's a surprising fact, could spark significant discussion, listener interest. Because it's not just about a car, is it? It's about the future of how all smart devices, home appliances, medical devices will handle essential security updates. Raises unique questions about consumer rights. sets a potentially concerning precedent for the whole connected world.
Definitely the most baffling thing we discussed. Okay. We've unpacked a lot today. From the cutting edge of AI, the complex web of cybersecurity threats, through the bustling streets of San Francisco and across the globe with national headlines.
A whirlwind tour.
And woven throughout, that timeless wisdom of Proverbs, reminding us that while the world changes, human nature's challenges, triumphs, they often echo through the ages.
Yeah. And our goal with the deep dive, as always, is to equip you, the learner, with not just information, but also the context, the connections, to make that information really stick, spark your own critical thinking.
Hope you found some aha moments.
We hope so. Whether it's understanding AI governance nuances or just the enduring relevance of ancient wisdom.
So as you go about your day, maybe consider this. In an age where AI can terminate harmful conversations and ancient texts advise on avoiding contention, what active steps can you take? Maybe to foster more constructive dialogue in your own circles, or simply bring a little more merry heart into your own daily interactions amidst all the complexities of modern life. Something to think about. Thank you for joining us for today's deep dive.
Until next time, keep digging for knowledge.
Adios, mofos.